Hi, I'm Jen. Welcome to my channel. If you're here watching me on YouTube, if you're here watching me on Instagram, welcome to my feed. Thanks for being here. Playing around with the lighting today. So we'll see how this turns out because I'm not a professional or anything like that. Guys, I'm super behind because Thanksgiving week with Hallmark just about killed me because not only were there the 8 movies, but I also had to work, and I had to work like a lot during that week. And yeah, so I'm not caught up like by any stretch of the imagination. So let's go ahead and I'm going to I still have to talk about a movie that I really liked, but I'm going to skip ahead to this past weekend and talk about It's Time for Her to Come Home for Christmas. So, if you've been watching me like since the beginning of me talking about these movies, then you'll know that like I'm not a fan of the It's Time for Them, He, Her, Him, You, Me to Come Home for Christmas. Like, I'm not a fan of those movies, the Blake Shelton produced movies. Just in general, the one with Tyler Hynes I did like okay, but they're not movies that I look forward to watching. And this is unfortunately didn't do anything to make me excited for next year's movie. And the other, Shanae Grimes is in this movie. Christmas Incorporated, I think it's called. Something like that, with toys. Steve Lund, I believe. That movie, from what I recall, is really good. But then last year's movie or the year before's movie, that was not good. And now this year is not good. And I just would like for Hallmark to. I would like to see if I like Shanae Grimes in a Hallmark movie because now I can't tell. Now I'm questioning myself and I need to go back and watch the other one and see if I liked her in that movie. She's fine in this movie. This movie's directed by Ali Liebert, so I'm super bummed. I really wanted to like this movie because of that, because I'm a big Ali Liebert fan. Love that she's doing directing. She directed Holiday Sitter last year, I believe, which was like in my top 3 or 4, I think. So the problem, I don't think it's the directing. I don't necessarily think it's the acting. There is some overacting going on in here, but it's just, it's like it's a movie. There are people in it. They say things. They do things. There's some singing, but it's a snooze. It's a snooze, unfortunately. And all you really need to know going in, or what you should know, is that you should watch something else that's like better. And I can tell you right now, let's just get this out of the way. This is not going to be the worst movie of the year because nobody is going to be worse than Christmas by Design. Because in Christmas by Design, that main character was terrible. Although I am watching a movie right now where the main character is kind of terrible. So I don't know. I still don't think that's going to beat it though. But nobody in this movie is terrible. It's not like that at all. It's just, it's boring. It's pretty boring. Anyway, Shanae has lost her mother relatively recently, I think, and she gets offered a job to come and basically whip this church choir into shape before Christmas Eve. And when we first meet them, they're like so bad that like it's unbelievable how bad they are. Like they had to make it so that we would see that she needs to create this miracle. But in real life, if they were in the choir and you only had like 5 or 6 people, I don't think you guys would. I don't think the people would wind up sounding that bad. But whatever. Her love interest lives in this town. They're coincidentally on the same bus, but they never know it. But they find out later because she drops her guitar pick that she loves that reminds her of her mom, and he winds up finding it. And at first, I thought maybe this was going to be different because in the beginning, it seems like he actually has a crush. He does have a crush on somebody else who's in town. He's just come back from the military. And it seems like we're not necessarily even going to get a love story between him and Shanae Grimes at first. Like, Shanae Grimes is like, it's so obvious that you have a crush on her, or telling the girl that it's so obvious he has a crush on you. But then that isn't meant to be because time has passed and whatever. And so they kind of wind up together, but I don't really remember that there was any kind of, I don't remember thinking that there was like really any sizzle between them. But also there's something about him that to me is very generic or something. I don't know how to explain it, but there's something, in my opinion, very bland about him. So, yeah, the movie's just bland. It's just bland. So I'm going to have to give this, because checking it twice was more entertaining because it had like the hockey guy who was missing a tooth, and because I like Kevin McGarry and Kim Matula so much, and I gave that a 2.5, I'm going to have to do a 2.25 because I didn't hate it. I was there for the story. When there's kind of an emotional twist in this that we, in my opinion, get no payoff on, so it barely needed to be there because it was so, I felt, ineffectually used. So, but it's not quite bad enough, I think, to make it a full-on 2. It's definitely not a 1, so 2.25. I would, this is going to come down near the bottom, and if I were you, wouldn't put it on my list. That's what I'm saying. I would say go watch Christmas Incorporated or whatever that movie is called instead, that has Shanae Grimes and Steve Lund, so you can watch a good movie. Or any of the other like really good movies that have come out this year, because there have been a lot. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to post this all. I had 7 minutes to talk about this movie that I don't even think you guys should watch. That's absolutely insane. I'm going to stop talking. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. If you're on YouTube, if you want to like it, if you want to subscribe it, I'd love it, just because it's a real day. It's a day brightener for me. So yeah, that'd be great. But if you don't, that's okay. And I would love to hear what you think about it. If you have a minute, drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought about this movie. Maybe you can tell me why I'm wrong about it being a snooze. Anyway, thank you, and I'll be back. Okay, bye.